You're listening to the podcast between doctors and friends. Welcome to another episode of Between Doctors and Friends. We've got a juicy episode today. We'll keep it short. We'll make it fast. How are you, Dr. Ray? How was your week?
It was good. Nothing too out of the ordinary. I did a 24-hour shift yesterday, so I got home around 7:30 a.m. mm, this
Wow.
morning. So, yeah,
Oh,
just having a lazy day at home then to recover.
so you were working last night.
Yeah,
How many babies did you deliver?
I did 6 deliveries in 24 hours.
Oh my.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So
Oof.
not too bad. Not too bad.
Well, it's 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning as we record this. So you are pretty strong. Did you take a nap when you got back?
No, because I was kind of awake already because I had to wake up and sign out and round and drive home. So by the time I got home, I was awake, and then I have my very annoying dog that I had to deal with, and he got into some brownie mix and spread that on the carpet, so I had to clean that up, and then I swept the floor, and then sat down and watched some TV and ate some stuff, and I knew that I couldn't really go to sleep because then I would oversleep this event.
Oh, we've
Yeah.
got some juicy stories. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
jump to Dr. Foz. How was your week? How are you doing this morning?
Routine week. Everything's okay. I'm trying to make some sugar cookie bars for a family member's birthday, and it's not going very well. I've powdered sugar all over everything right now. I'm over it.
Wow, look at that. Doctors that can bake. And then we have a studio audience here. She goes by Moon. How are you doing, Moon? She's probably doing her Sunday stuff, not on the mic. All right, we're gonna jump to it. All right. I'm gonna share my screen here. Last night I was working really late and I had no one to talk to. And we had some juicy story here. Come on. And I didn't know that Dr. Ray, you were working. Should
I
have
mean, even though I was working, I was like trying to sleep some of the time in between my patients, so I wasn't up or available for juicy gossip.
Oh my gosh. So boy, a lot of
I was
juicy
asleep.
stuff.
I was dead asleep, just so you know.
I'm like, got no one to talk to. I got no one to talk to. All right. So I'm gonna play something here, and then I want to ask you guys some questions regarding this. So I had no one to talk to, so I'm doom scrolling as I'm working. What's going
No
on?
one to talk to. That's totally a lie.
I mean, it was like midnight, and we were kind of like doing some work, and I pretty much like I think we need to open a bottle of champagne or something. I don't know what's going on. Like I got no one to share this with. So I'm doom scrolling, and then I see this. I want to play this.
I've just woken up in beautiful Kodor, Montenegro, and seen text messages and news stories telling of the passing of Lindsey Graham. I feel like this is an important time for me to remind men that the mixing of ED medications with amyl nitrate can cause cardiac arrest. I'm also reminded of a very famous Betty Davis quote at this moment. If you know, you know.
All right, let's go back to this. I want to ask you guys about this ED medication and whatever the nitrate.
Oh, I think he was making a joke.
Yeah, I know. Is that something? Is that
Oh yeah,
that
yeah.
causes heart
Well,
attack?
you can't,
You
no,
can't.
it doesn't cause heart attacks, but you can't mix. So the way the most commonly used ED meds like Cialis and Viagra work is they dilate blood vessels with um, kind of the shifting of nitrates into the blood vessels. And so if you take anything else that is a nitrate type medication, then you have too much and you can drop your blood pressure.
Ah,
So contraindication to ED meds is somebody who takes like nitrates for their heart.
got it. And I know we have like the Lindsay Lohan story in front as we're talking about this, but
No,
and I'm just saying,
Lindsey Graham,
I'm sorry. What did I say?
Lindsay Lohan.
Lindsey Graham, not Lohan. So,
Graham.
you know, conspiracy theory was, he had a heart attack at 2 a.m. and
I don't know what he had, but cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death.
yeah,
So he's a 70-some-year-old guy.
71. That's
Okay,
what confused
71-year-old
me.
guy.
Uh-huh.
So if somebody said, "Hey, what did he die from?" If it wasn't like something obvious, then cardiovascular disease, like a big heart attack, is definitely in the running. I
Wow,
don't know.
you're too serious. The juice about it is that it's 2 a.m. and who called 911 when he lives alone? That's
You know
just a
that
conspiracy.
he could have. I mean that happens.
Yeah.
You know. Does he live alone?
He
Isn't he?
probably has a ton of assistants and housekeepers and
I mean, he has
and
security, I'm
whatnot and
sure.
security. Yeah, so somebody maybe heard him fell or something. So
Yeah, well,
Is he
I mean,
married?
no.
Oh. Are we
Well,
sure he lives alone?
I don't know if he lives alone, but okay,
Then why did you say he lives alone?
I'm just being juicy here, because they call him lady, what did they call Moon? What did they call her? Yeah, they have a term for him, like Lady G. That's it.
Okay, so he's a closeted gay. Oh, sorry, I put it in the chat.
There you go.
And so
Oh, is that thought about him? I don't know.
oh no, yeah, that's a big kind of open secret. So
See,
they,
it just got juicy, right? Of course,
yeah,
this is
so
all
they
allegedly,
think he was,
right?
it's alleged, but they're saying possibly taking some, whatever they take to perform or something. It wasn't necessarily,
Cocaine?
no. It was something else. I hadn't seen it before, but it's something that I think in the gay community they use
Like
to,
poppers?
yes, poppers. Yes,
What?
that's the
What are
word.
those?
I think that's
Huh?
the amyl nitrate. And that's
Yeah, I
like
think it's for VCR cleaner or something.
I don't kn
VCR cleaner.
Or
I'm thinking
something.
I have like
It's because
poppers from.
somebody said, where are they still getting this at? Because
I don't
it's so
know.
old. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
This was a terminology. I hadn't even heard of this one before. So I
Yeah,
was
I
like,
don't
this
I
is
don't
new.
really the
But
whole
it was
club drug
poppers that
thing
they said.
stuff. I don't know. I don't know.
Wow.
And
I'm thinking like
so,
the poppers I get from Chinatown that you throw on the ground.
Not that kind of
not
poppers.
that kind of
Not
poppers.
corn
No.
poppers either. That's also not what we mean.
No, like a,
no, it's like they inhale it.
yes.
Like the
Yeah.
like whipped cream. Like
The
people will get
whippets.
the
Yeah.
the dispensers for the whipped cream, and then they inhale that gas that comes out from there. So it's the same thing. So
Oh wow.
yeah.
I wonder how someone found out that that's what you can do. Like, how do you find out that that's going to get you high? Like,
I don't know. How did
who
somebody
was the,
there's all this stuff. Like how did you figure out that yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
I was like, who? Like, I need the origin story. Like, who figured this out? That's crazy. But anywho, so that's word on the curb that that's probably what happened. He probably with a little something something.
Right? Oh my gosh. And look who shows up and
Hey,
joins us.
Oh, hey,
yes,
Auntie.
The host of Daytime Tea with Auntie Derek.
good. Somebody that can actually talk about these things. I just learned a new term and
Auntie Derek, we're talking about poppers and ED.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
hi,
Good morning,
honey.
doctors.
Hello,
I
Good
missed
hello.
afternoon.
you. It's been so long.
I'm
I
scared
know.
to ask, but what new term did you just learn?
Oh, well, poppers. I didn't know about that. I didn't know
Oh,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
this is
what?
just a discussion between doctors and friends, So like allegedly, they say
Yes.
it's 2 a.m. Who would have called 911? The the
Yes.
president confirmed that he just spoke to him at 7 p.m. and he's fine.
So they
Yeah, but
said,
I mean, that happens with sudden cardiac death. I mean, you're fine and then you're not.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and then
I
you're
mean, it's
dead.
not that weird when you're 71.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
let's okay, so let's pretend he's living allegedly. If he's living alone. If you have a cardiac arrest, do you like get up and like fall on the
Not
ground
if you
in your
die in your
bed,
sleep.
right?
I mean, you can die in your sleep, so no.
Yeah. So who would
And
call
just
nine
because
one
somebody
one?
lives alone doesn't mean they sleep alone consistently. So,
The word, the
legit.
little auntie, I think the
Auntie.
in the community they say the word on the curb he was with someone and doing poppers, and that's probably what gave him the heart attack.
Wow. Wow.
That's
But
conspiracy theory.
and I feel like someone because I don't think that would have been it. And the reason being is because someone like these have been rumors about him for a very long time. I have heard that he has done poppers allegedly for some years now. So I feel like someone who uses it on a regular. I could be wrong, but using it on a regular basis, that wouldn't be. I think it had to been something else.
Wow. Dr. Foz, do you guys have patients that come to you and
They don't
they
always tell us
admit?
what's going on, but they
Uh,
do. I mean, yeah, they do all kinds of stuff. Sometimes they'll tell you, sometimes they'll wait till something bad happens. And then they'll be like, well, I forgot to tell you that I've been using cocaine for the last 2 years every day. And you're like, oh, okay.
oh wow, wow. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's Sunday morning. This happened, 12 hours ago or less than 12 hours ago. So we're just kind of speculating, you know, friends having
Yeah.
brunch.
Someone in my community who had been, I guess, for and not even a long period of time. Like, some people are on drugs for an extended amount of time, but I think if you do those type of drugs, oh, I mean, and then maybe possibly have any type of ailing health, or you don't know, but like cocaine and stuff in the long run could mess up your heart, right? Like
Oh, yeah. Big time.
that.
I learned
Yeah.
something about whippets that I didn't know fairly
What
recently either. Those can also really mess you up. Don't do that stuff, guys.
Yeah,
what's
that's what
whippets?
air, like sucking
That's those whipped
air in
cream
the can.
canister, nitrous oxide, I
So
think,
like if I give my
things.
little nephew whipped cream, straight from the can.
No,
No, no,
it's
Okay,
no,
okay.
no.
empty. It's empty.
Oh, wow.
The
Wow.
gas that comes out after all of that stuff.
Wow. So what are the effects of that?
Don't get me to
Like,
lying. I
what do
don't
you,
know.
what do you mean?
Dr. Foss. So like someone that kind of uses whippets, like what happens to them typically?
They get higher than a kite for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's the whole point of any of this stuff, right? Everybody wants something to bring your brain into an alternate reality.
Yeah, and I hear it's a short high too, like very short.
Just
Oh,
like poppers. Like poppers is you that only yes, and I'm speaking from experience. Auntie used to live back in the day. And that's probably maybe a 10-second rush, if that.
oh wow. That is quick. All right. Let's move on to another story because this is a story that kind of confused me. Mitch McConnell.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So if you could just enlighten us from, like a doctor's point of view, um, if he's brain dead, um, no one from the
Well,
hospital can
if
say
he's
anything
brain
about
dead,
that.
he's brain dead. There's no coming back from that. So brain dead means your brain is dead. It's no longer doing anything, but your heart is still beating. And, so there's no recovery from that.
Can they bring him home?
No. So brain dead is not a persistent vegetative state. That's the difference. You have people who are in comas who have varying degrees of brain damage, but brain dead is brain dead. in some places, once you're declared brain dead, your family does no longer have the right to make decisions for you. You are dead. Dead people do not have any rights, and so they can go in and take you off the ventilator and unplug everything, and that's it. So, I mean, that doesn't mean that's what people want to do. I mean, we as healthcare providers don't like relish that or like, oh, they're dead, unplug. I mean, that's not, I mean, everybody's very serious about these things, but dead people don't have rights. Um, but brain dead is different than like a persistent vegetative state, which is varying. You think of it as just different degrees of brain damage, which you may or may not ever recover from. Most likely not. I see a hand raised.
Oh, yes, I was just gonna ask. So, when the hospital says, you want, is that like, do you want to pull the plug? Is that just more like a common courtesy for the family?
No, because sometimes people are, if they're brain dead, they're usually going to come tell you, hey, grandpa's brain dead. Like there is no electrical activity in the brain, there is no brain
Mhm.
function. And the thing with brain dead is you can't live like that. Like you can't keep people alive when they're brain dead for like indefinite. It doesn't work. Like my understanding of people who like have been declared like brain dead, and maybe Dr. Ray has more experience with this. I don't have, I mean, this isn't something that we doctors deal with every day, just
Uh-huh.
especially me.
Right.
Like I don't do hospital medicine any longer.
Uh-huh.
There is like when you're, let's say somebody comes in and they're gravely injured and they are declared brain dead, um, and they're an organ donor. So that kicks in. I mean, it's not like the doctors are like, oh, let's not notify the family. I mean, everybody wants everybody on the same page and the same understanding, of course. But when the decision is made to proceed to organ donation and people are kept on, ventilators and pressors and fluids and all these things to keep, circulation going so that you can, you know, um, maybe use somebody's kidney to save somebody else's life or transplant the heart and save somebody else's life with that, with that
Mhm.
life-giving donation. It's very hard to do that. And from what I understand, like their labs are like everything starts to fall apart, like, and you can't maintain them, like, ongoing.
So that then for those doctors, and I'm going back to an older story, in Georgia, they kept that woman alive to bring the baby to term. But I think the baby has disabilities because of that. Would that have, because she was brain dead, like she wasn't,
Was she fully see, I don't know, and
I
there's
don't
these
Oh,
gray
wow.
zones too. There's a whole other story that is way too long that we could go into at another time
Yeah.
about this, but, like, I don't know, like, it's very hard to keep them going. It's not like,
okay.
"Okay, we'll just put the breathing thing in and put a urine tube in and just feed them intravenously and just give them oxygen and, they'll be fine." It's not like that.
Well, I don't look, and that's all. Now I don't know if she was completely brain dead, but she was not going to survive, and then they wouldn't let her pass. They made
Yeah, to
her,
to to help the baby survive. But I
but the
don't know, like, I
baby's
think
doing
remember,
well.
there's
Wow.
different degrees of severe brain damage of which
Oh,
you can't recover from, but the brain might not be completely dead. Does that make sense?
wow.
I think the case in
Yes.
Georgia, she was completely brain dead and they kept her, I think she was like 14, 15 weeks when it happened, and they kept her alive for like 3 months until the baby was considered viable. And I think she went into labor on her own, preterm labor, and delivered a very premature baby. And very premature babies have multiple complications and can grow up with disabilities and everything.
Wait,
And
wait, wait,
that
wait,
was,
wait. She did. Say it again. She delivered the baby on her own, being brain dead.
Well,
Her
well,
body.
her body.
The labor started spontaneously.
yeah,
Wow. Okay.
So
yeah,
they did all of this
yeah,
to basically give the baby to the grandmother with disabilities. Like, hey,
right.
here you go.
Right. And that baby,
Wow.
the cost of all the healthcare that that baby will need, and the time and everything that that child would need is going to be millions and millions of dollars
And
that
quality
they
of
Yes.
spent.
life, it's like
And
how
Wow.
a
disabled would that poor
terrible
child be?
quality of life. And the burden now has been placed on this grandmother. She
Who
loses her
hadn't even
child.
had a yeah, and she didn't even get to grieve her child.
Right.
That's so
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah, so it's an
So
absolute
sad.
terrible
It's terrible.
situation. Yeah, it was very, very sad. So with Mitch McConnell, my understanding is that like he probably had some massive heart attack at home, because I think there's some footage or pictures of him being taken like on a stretcher to the hospital or
Yeah.
something.
Ambulance.
And yeah, and they've never really commented on his condition since then. So he probably got to the hospital and probably was declared, dead at some point. And honestly, I having worked in a hospital, and Dr. Foz can agree to this too, I don't know how the level of them like going along with what the government is doing, how that is happening. Meaning, if he is brain dead, usually you go to the family and say, okay, so and so's brain dead and there's no hope, and we should probably take him off the ventilator and just make peace with this and move on. And I feel like 99% of the people agree to that and they just move on. So they must have spoken to his family at some point, but then I'm hearing that his wife like took off to China and is not here. And maybe she's not here so that they can't have that conversation with her. And then the daughter apparently, I guess, like uh deleted all her social media accounts and is like in a no contact or not able to find her type of
Wow.
situation. And so I don't know if the doctors have to keep him alive until they talk to family and the family's just avoiding it.
Or
For
somebody
political.
Or
may not be fully, once again, may not be fully brain dead, but might be completely unresponsive with significant anoxic encephalopathy or something.
yeah. And then
What?
if
What's that last word? You just put out a very big word. What is that?
It just basically means significant brain damage from lack of blood flow, in somebody who has like a cardiac arrest from a heart attack or something. It's just the heart stopped beating efficiently because it was having heart attack. Now there's no circulation of oxygen to your brain, and you have 4 minutes to restore that or the brain starts to die. Now, if you have partial circulation or if somebody gets to you and starts CPR, you might either prevent that or whatnot, but I mean, you may not have full neurologic recovery. What before I'm so sorry. What are the things did I've heard that there was pictures of him being loaded into an ambulance. Is
Yeah.
that
yeah,
were they like doing CPR on him when he was going into the ambulance, or
I
were they
heard
just
I,
like
I
loading a
heard that
body
as
onto
well,
the,
but I didn't see anything. But I haven't
yeah, because that
researched
would be
because I
very
don't think.
telling. If there's
Yeah,
people like
Oh,
doing chest compressions on you when you're being loaded into the ambulance, that's
yeah,
very worrisome.
yeah. I don't know if you can find that, but I didn't do any deep dive in it because I just didn't care enough to do it. Um, but then, so for the people that don't agree to take them off life support, then the hospital has ethics committees that have to deal with
oh,
this, and they get together then, and they can make an overruling over the family that if they look at all the evidence and they agree that this person is brain dead and that life support should be removed, then the hospital ethics committee can overrule what the family wants. Now, there are some situations and stuff going on, and I think two cases were in Texas. There was a young girl, and I want to say her name was J, something like that, or started with a J, who had tonsil surgery and then
Yeah, that case was
stroked out
not Texas.
afterwards.
It was
Yeah.
California and then transferred to New Jersey. That was Jahai
Okay.
McMath. I know that
Okay.
case really well, actually.
what?
Okay. So yeah, and so they kept her, even though she was brain dead, the family fought and kept her alive and transferred her to New Jersey, where some facility agreed to keep her there. And I think she's just living, she's on a ventilator. She's unconscious on a ventilator, and that's her life because
I
the
think
family
she
can't let
died.
go. Oh, did
I think
she?
she
Okay.
finally died. I don't
Okay.
honestly, I should look into that. That was an interesting case that we can talk about off
Yeah.
mic later on. But
Well, I hope
New
she's
Jersey has
finding
some
at
sort of
peace.
law where
Yeah.
you can protest the diagnosis of brain death on religious grounds or something like that and override everything.
Yeah. And now there's a case in Texas of a little girl who drowned, and I want to say she's like 4, and her family's refusing to take her off of life support as well.
Oh
Poor
my
kid.
gosh.
Yeah.
Just a
And
little thing.
yeah, I know these poor, they're just bodies now. They're not there anymore. So anyway,
And that's expensive
I
too,
think
right?
Oh, of
yeah,
course, but you can't. I mean, the thing with brain death is there is zero hope of recovery, like
yeah,
zero. Like it's not possible that you will, have any meaningful consciousness. Persistent vegetative states or persistent comas are there's different levels of function and all those things. And often there is most of the time I would say those things are often permanent, but they're different than brain death. Brain death is nothing, not a nothing. There's no
So
brain
maybe he's
activity.
not brain dead like the way we assume it because it's been a
Right.
while. It's been a
He
few
may be
days.
unresponsive. I mean, you will have people so the survival rate for out of hospital arrests and, like, resuscitation, it depends on so many factors, like, how like, if you were found down and somebody didn't activate EMS or start CPR and it was cardiorespiratory in nature, I mean, people can have huge strokes and collapse too, and that's not something CPR is going to change. But the survival rate for, like, out of hospital arrest is something like less than 10%, and it really depends on the nature of what happens, and there's so many variables, and so that's why it's always a good idea for everybody to learn CPR. That's a good skill for everybody to know, and to have AEDs accessible. So that's why, like airports and shopping malls and all those things have AEDs. And so if you have somebody who,
What's AED?
an automatic external defibrillator.
Okay.
And so those are the things you'll often see when you're at the airport or in, big buildings. And we, always have them in offices and clinics and hospitals. And so they're things that you could apply to somebody's chest, and the machine will analyze the heart rhythm and deliver an electrical shock to try to help restore a functioning heartbeat.
Wow.
Um, but if you the sooner you can access those things, which is why it's important to have them available in large public spaces, the more likely somebody is to have a better outcome.
Wow. Well, I mean, and he did have a 20-minute supposedly conversation with this Scott Jennings, but that's also questionable.
yeah.
Well, no, it's for sure not even questionable. Um,
But what's really suspicious is that his office isn't putting out any kind of statement, or the hospital's not putting out any kind of statement, like,
y-
because they do that with any high profile person who's been hospitalized, just saying, so and so has been hospitalized for an undisclosed illness, and that's it,
wow.
but they're not even saying anything. So,
Now, if their families are like incommunicado, I mean, the families must be in communication with the hospital and said, keep him alive, right? Just not with the public.
I don't know
Yeah.
actually.
Okay. Because you
You
can't
know,
like leave someone. I mean, won't the hospital like pull the plug if they can't communicate with the
I mean, if
family?
if 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 someone came in to a hospital and they couldn't find any family members and the person was declared brain dead, then again they would have the hospital ethics committee convene. And if they did everything they could to try and locate family members and they couldn't, then I think the hospital would be within their rights to terminate care. They just, have to make an effort to do so. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on with his wife and why, if
Yeah.
he's that sick. And I mean, what sane family member, if your close family member, if your husband, father is very, very sick in the hospital, why would you not be there?
Yeah.
You
Wow.
know?
Good
It's
point.
very
Good point.
suspicious. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna move on to a next topic because we have, a short time.
Hold on, you're not going to be there because you don't have a very good relationship and hate each other. That's why.
Okay, yeah, and that's fine. I
Wake
mean,
it up.
if that's the situation, then that's fine. Then just say that, you know what, I don't have a relationship. I'm out of here. That's fine. So if that's the situation, then and he has no living relatives who can come and make any kind of healthcare decisions for him, then the hospital is default decision maker. So
Mm,
yeah.
mm,
So it depends on who's his power of attorney for healthcare. Maybe it's not his wife. Maybe it's his assistant that they gave the power to, and the assistant's been sitting there the whole time, saying you can't take him off because of politics.
yeah, maybe it's Lindsey Graham. All right, next topic. Mom gives birth in her sleep, and nurses don't find her baby until minutes later under a pile of blankets. What the heck? Explain.
This isn't as shocking.
Epidural.
Yeah. Yeah, this isn't as shocking. So
What?
this has happened to me. This is not a problem. This is not, and this happened to my niece, or my sister who delivered
Wait,
my
wait,
niece.
wait, wait, wait. Back it up. You
Okay.
were asleep when you delivered,
No, no,
or
no,
you
not
just
not me
delivered?
physically with my
Oh,
children, me as a doctor with
okay.
my patients. And then it also happened to my sister physically as my patient who when she had my niece, basically. I mean, not asleep, but the baby comes out. So women who have had children already, vaginal delivery, the first baby you tend to have takes a while. It takes time to dilate, time to push that baby out. So it is a longer process. But each subsequent baby you have, the labor process is much faster. Your body has been through it. It recognizes what it needs to do. The muscles, the tissues, the nerves have all been stretched out, so they're not as restrictive anymore. So having your third, fourth, fifth, sixth baby basically is a lot simpler than having your first baby. And these women who have 14, 15, 16 kids, they practically just cough and that baby comes out. So it's very
Wait, I have to ask. So out of the all the deliveries that you can remember, what woman that you've delivered had the most number of babies?
I've done 14 or 15, her 14th or 15th kid.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And did it just like pop right out?
Yeah, I mean, she just basically she didn't do anesthesia with her deliveries, but she basically, as soon as she got to ready to deliver, she pushed maybe twice and baby comes right out. Very simple, easy deliveries.
At what number of baby did it start happening for her? Like the second, fifth?
Well, I mean, it can be different for everybody, for different people. Like my sister, when she had her second baby, the baby just basically came right out. So depends on everyone's body type and how they, their musculature and pelvic musculature and everything, so it's very different for different people. But this this situation, she very likely wasn't her first baby, so it was probably baby number 3, 4, something like that. And you're often go into labor in the middle of the night. So you're kind of coming to the hospital and you're tired. If you elect for an epidural, they can give you an epidural and then you're basically numb from the waist down. So you're not feeling what your body's doing, but your body is still contracting away. Your cervix is still dilating, and that baby's head is still descending and preparing and getting ready for labor. And so this is how the women in comas, will have babies. Women in comas can have vaginal deliveries and have babies. And this is how it sometimes happens. And so oftentimes we'll check a patient right before she has an epidural and say she might be like 3 or 4 centimeters. And then you give them the epidural and they kind of take a little nap and rest a little bit. And then you go back a couple hours later to check them and they're already completely dilated, ready to have the baby. So what likely happened in this situation is that she got an epidural and she took a nap and she dilated, and because she's what we call a multiparous patient, meaning that she's had more than one baby before, that the baby was probably on the smaller side, that her body, pushed the baby out, which it's meant to do. It contracts, the uterus contracts to expel the fetus, and it expels the baby. So I've had this happen at least three times that I know of, that I can remember, where I've gotten the call that the nurse went to go check on the patient, or and they find the baby right there between the legs. Or oftentimes what happens is the dad comes, opens the door and starts yelling for some help, and then because he's found the baby, or the mom found the baby. But it's not an unusual situation. It happens.
Wow.
I'll say that it
Your
happens. It's not
expression
normal.
to our host's expression. I've been laughing my butt off
Oh,
on mute over the looks on your face.
oh my God. I'm like grossed out and shocked at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep, obviously.
is it
Well,
cheaper? Is it cheaper for her?
oh my
No.
gosh, no, please. Yeah, right. A
No.
doctor still has to get paid.
Yeah.
Everybody has to get paid. But that's how people end up having babies in cars, like trying to get
Yeah.
to the place.
Yeah.
The baby's like, yeah,
The
we're
babies,
sliding right on out.
they come when they want to come. You can't hold them back.
Really?
You can't stop it. So yeah, exactly. That's why they have them in cars. That's why they have them in, you know, lobbies, or, their
I had a
houses,
patient who
or
was in
wherever it is.
line at a fast food place and then her baby fell out.
Yeah.
Just fell out.
Wow.
And she was
Damn.
fine and the baby was fine.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I have like a few minutes for this topic. I just want to ask you, Dr. Ray, could you guide us on how can I tell if a woman is pregnant versus maybe she, has belly fat.
Overweight. Oh,
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Like what's a telltale?
that's
Okay, and I'll give you a background. I met
okay.
someone this week and she looked pregnant,
Uh-huh.
but I didn't want to say anything because many years ago I went to the DMV and I thought she was pregnant. I asked her, "Oh, like how many months?" And she gave me like, you know, the angriest look.
Uh-huh.
So I learned not
Yeah,
to say
I
anything. But
don't think
what's the
there's a way
telltale?
to fully tell. I mean, if
Uh,
obviously someone is slim to normal weight, normal body habitus, they have a very, clear belly. They often walk with a little, waddle a little bit, or they are holding their back, so you can kind of see the way that the mom stands and the way that she walks and behaves. But if someone is obese or even morbidly obese, a lot of my morbidly obese patients at 9 months don't look pregnant at all when they walk in. I can't tell that they're pregnant because they're obese. They have large belly fat, and it hides the pregnancy. So there's really no sure way. There's no sign. There's not like
mm,
a
okay.
mark that they have. So just always err on the side of caution and don't say
Yeah,
anything
just don't say
unless they say
anything.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any questions in this topic before we move on? We're gonna stick to the
No, I just
time.
learned a lot. I'm just like taking all of this in.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Last
wait,
topic.
wait, wait, wait.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
One
yeah.
thing before you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
I would
Go
say,
Moon.
if like she said in mannerisms, usually pregnant women like to hold their bellies, and
Yeah.
it becomes like a subconscious
Yeah.
um,
Also,
thing
they
that they do.
rub their belly, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
saw
They just,
I saw a
yeah,
lady
hold it
crossing
or
the
rub
street
it.
yesterday, and she was a slim
Mm,
woman who was clearly in the later stages of pregnancy, and she was, like, walking in front of my car, like, and she was just rubbing her belly like it was a bowling ball.
Yeah.
got it. Okay. Okay. Because that get back in the car, and I'm like, I think she's pregnant. Yeah, yeah, she's pregnant. Why did you say anything? I'm like, I don't want to say anything because I got into trouble many years ago.
Yeah. I think it's, you I mean, there's some changes that you can maybe spot and stuff, but I would say it's more behavior. But if they're heavy, then it's going to be harder to tell.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, Moon. Thank you, Dr. Ray. Okay, last topic. I've been wanting to ask you guys this. Cyclo. Let me just reject this. Cyclopedia.
Gross.
psoriasis outbreak. What's going on? And because I'm reading
Cyclosporiasis.
this, and then I had Vietnamese food last Friday, and I had salad. I was like, what's going on? Enlighten us.
Okay, it's cyclosporiasis.
Okay.
So, but
Cyclopsoriasis.
I haven't heard about this. But is this what's giving, like, there's a explosive diarrhea issue that's going on across the U.S.? Is
Yeah,
this
and
what's
it's
giving
like
that?
yeah,
Okay.
it's like many months of it.
Oh, okay. I mean, you can have outbreaks of, E. coli and salmonella and whatever type of bacteria on all food. So it's always a good idea to, wash your food well, wash your hands well, and eat only at trusted places and trusted sources. So, it's not
This
uncommon
is
for
yeah.
food to
This
get,
is why
yeah,
health departments exist.
yeah, it's not uncommon for food to get infected with something. So it's all food, any food that we buy or eat out or anything like that, even food that's grown in your backyard garden could get infected with some bacteria. So you just have to, if you buy fresh fruits or vegetables, just wash them really good before you eat them. And if you go out to eat, just make sure you're going to somewhere that's, a reputable place, with good, following good rules of health,
Right?
hygiene. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
cyclosporiasis it's a intestinal, I think it's a protozoa. And so it's
Oh
not
my
really a
gosh,
bacteria.
protozoa for my high school biology. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it's something that I think only humans are the host. I don't think this is spread through like bird droppings or wild animals or something like that. And I don't think it's spread from human to human. So if you have somebody who has this in your household, I don't think you can transmit it to them, unintentionally like you might with like norovirus or something that's more infectious. Um and
Have you
it's
had
a
cases?
what's that?
Have you had patients with this? Because it's in
Not
California.
recently. I
Okay.
have not, and I'm in
Oof.
I'm in other parts of the country, as you know,
Uh-huh.
and, but there's been, I think, an outbreak. I think it's, like, mostly in Michigan, um,
Yeah.
and
I think
it's gonna be fecal contamination, but, I there's other things to it. It's not such a simple, like I said, human to human transmission. And it is through, like, uncooked produce, so salads and things. The thing that always frightened me that I think are I love them, are, like, green onions, like, raw green onions garnishing something. I think that's often a source of, like, foodborne outbreaks, but not this one in particular. I mean, I think it can be anything that's a raw herb or produce.
all right, let me play this video and we can talk about this because it's like weird that it's not in Arizona.
Cyclosporiasis. If you've heard of it, you know this is about to get disgusting. An outbreak of the parasitic infection has sickened more than 1,200 people in Michigan alone. And in neighboring Ohio, there are more than 500 cases. Cases of the foodborne illness are rising too in other states. More than 2 dozen have active investigations. Here's what you need to know. 1. What is cyclosporiasis? Well, it's an intestinal illness caused by the Cyclospora cayetanensis parasite. It's not fatal, and not everybody who gets cyclosporiasis will have symptoms, but those who do face severe and unpleasant side effects. And apologies in advance if you're squeamish, may experience bouts of frequent and explosive diarrhea that could last from a few days to more than a month. That's along with nausea, fatigue, and bloating. 2. How does this gnarly parasite spread? Cyclospora is transmitted through consumption of food or water that is contaminated with feces. It can be treated with antibiotics, but most people can recover without medical intervention, although it will take longer. Direct person to person transmission is unlikely. Health officials haven't identified a specific source for these outbreaks. Cyclospora can be hard to track, as the parasite can't be reproduced in the lab, and some food poisoning tests don't detect it, complicating the investigation of this outbreak. In 2025, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention made state reporting of Cyclospora optional when it scaled back its foodborne diseases active surveillance network. 3. Most important, how can you avoid this fate? Well, the CDC has 2 major tips. First, avoid consuming food or water that may be contaminated with feces, obviously. And second, follow food safety recommendations for safe preparation and storage, like cutting away damaged or bruised areas of produce. But based off of previous outbreaks, Michigan health officials are warning residents and restaurants in cyclosporiasis hotspots to also do the following. Buy whole heads of lettuce, not pre-washed bags. Separate and wash all cilantro and basil leaves. Trim the root end and peel the outer layer of green onions. Gently rub snow peas and other vegetables with your hands or a brush as you wash them. And consider avoiding fresh fruits like raspberries with exteriors that are harder to wash. But the only surefire way to avoid it, cooking vegetables. Cyclospora die at 158 degrees. Support journalism you trust. Support PBS News.
Yeah, support
I
PBS.
love raspberries. I'm
That was
sad.
very informative. Yeah. That was
Wow.
informative. Yeah. Yeah, so just exactly what he said. You have to clean. I mean, this is something everybody should be doing anyways. Always wash your fruits, always wash your vegetables, always wash your hands, just to avoid any type of foodborne illness. So you just need to be a little bit extra careful right now, and just make sure that you're, you know, um, handling the food properly.
UVC light.
Wow. So like,
Yeah.
gosh, that's a month of diarrhea. I mean,
Yeah,
what
Yeah.
does that do to you? I mean,
it's gonna wear you out.
Yeah.
oof.
Gonna make
I
you.
thought it was funny that he was like, excuse me if everybody gets squeamish, but we might have diarrhea. I'm like, really? Just talking about diarrhea is enough to trigger you? Then you need to develop a thicker skin, my friend.
Let's talk
Oh,
about
no,
women
no,
giving
no.
birth
There,
while they're
there are
asleep.
so many sensitive people out there. So yes, if you talk about anything like that, like they will get very offended.
Again, need a thicker skin.
Also, wash your hands. A lot of people
Yeah,
don't like to wash their hands.
yeah,
Yeah, they said that even if you keep the water, like you put vinegar, clean the lettuce, it doesn't clean it out. It's just like crazy. And wow.
yeah.
All right.
So you just have to be more careful. I mean, there's nothing, and if they can't find the source of the outbreak, then they can't, stop it. So they just have to control, you know, what the what the handling of the situation is, and so that's all you can do is just, either
I wonder,
avoid those types of food.
does freezing kill it? Like if you buy frozen raspberries? I'm sad. I want
I
some
know.
raspberries.
Damn it. I just had like farmer's market blackberry last week, but I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I'm kind of, good news is stay away from salad for a while.
That's terrible news.
Well,
I love
this is in
Yeah.
Michigan. It's not
I,
even in all parts of the country.
no,
So,
it's spread. I saw in California where I am. It's
oh,
not in Arizona. There's like a map of like it's been spreading.
gross.
yeah,
So I
Yeah.
want to
Well,
very gross.
again, if they can't figure out what the source is, then they're not going to be able to stop it. So
Right.
you
And that's
need
what
to be
happens when
careful.
you
So,
when you take away inspectors who are, you know,
right.
funding. We need funding for that stuff. The
Yeah.
Yeah,
FDA,
that's
the
true.
At
USDA,
this
the
at this point,
CDC.
it ain't even funding; it's people. They got rid of all the people,
Yeah.
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 which is
Right.
sad.
So whatever state you live in, you just need to be, careful. But again, like I said, this is stuff that you should be doing always. You should always wash your hands. You should always wash your fruit.
Oof. Well, that concludes this episode. It's a quick episode. Any closing remarks?
No, I think that's it. Yeah.
Have a fabulous week, everyone, and stay safe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wash your hands, and if you're pregnant, try to go to sleep.
Go to sleep. Oh. I do tell my patients that, once they kind of get the epidural and once, they're kind of comfortable, we tell them to try and lay down and rest and sleep, because once the time for pushing comes, it can take a lot of energy and take a lot of work. So you want to kind of rest now before you have to put in that work. A lot of pregnant people like will come in with, they'll have like 15 people in the rooms with them, and sometimes we just kind of say to them very discreetly, like maybe you should ask some of these people to leave so you can rest, because you're going to have a lot of work coming up. That's why they call it labor. You're going to have a lot of physical labor coming up at some point, so you want to
Wow.
get your rest now. So we do encourage all pregnant women to sleep, so for sure.
And
It
plus,
gives me
once the baby's there,
flashbacks.
you'll never sleep again, ever.
Exactly.
Never,
Yeah,
ever.
at least 10
This is
years.
giving this
We
Yeah,
only
gives
have
me a lot of flashbacks. A
we
lot
only
of
have
yeah,
flashbacks.
two people that can relate to this. All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Stay tuned to next week.
Okay.
Bye.
All right,
Bye,
bye
everyone.
everyone. Bye-bye.